Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another film review on Coach Cove's B-Ball Breakdowns. Today, the first half of the video is going to concern going over the Boston and Miami matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals from this year. But as we get going, we'll start looking at some things that preview the NBA Finals matchup between Jokic and the Nuggets and Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. Alright, so the biggest storyline in this series was Boston's inconsistent three-point shooting. Through the first three games, they were at just 29% from behind the arc, but then they turned it around in games 4 and 5 and found some life. They shot it at 42% over those two games and hit 34 of their 81 looks. But they reverted in games 6 and 7, and that percentage fell back down to 21%. Boston finished the series only making 16 of their final 77 three-point shot attempts. And it wasn't a secret that the Celtics offense was really reliant upon their shot making from deep. According to NBA.com, they were second in the league in terms of total percentage of points that they got from behind the arc. So it shouldn't come as a huge surprise to see other aspects of their offense struggle when the shots aren't falling from deep. But they were able to make up for that by forcing a lot of turnovers. In games 4 and 5, Miami turned it over 16 times apiece, which is 4 turnovers higher than their average of 12 in this series. That turned into a lot of easy transition looks, a lot of layups on the other end for Boston. But give them credit. They were not only just jumping in passing lanes and keeping good ball pressure, they were doing things like this. They collapsed 4 guys on a Bam on this play, just making him uncomfortable in the lane, trying to get him to give it up. When they had second level help step up, they were able to stop looks at the rim and force a lot more turnovers. But when they didn't have that second level help, they really struggled and they gave up a lot of easy looks. On each of these next two plays, it's really easy to see how when Boston didn't have that second man step up, it really led to a lot of easy looks for Miami. And essentially what we're talking about when we're talking about second level of help defense is how the defense is playing the ball screen, how the guy who's guarding the man who's setting the screen is defending the ball screen. One of the options you have anytime you're in this position is to blitz the ball handler. So you'll come up above the level of attack, above the level of where the screen is being set to try and make the ball handler do something to give the ball up. You're trying to make him change direction. You're trying to put ball pressure on him, and that's called blitzing the screen. The other option you have in the ball screen defense is to play what's called the drop coverage. Drop coverage starts beneath the level of attack, beneath where the screen is being set, and the big man always has his feet retreating towards the basket. He's not looking to make a play on the ball handler coming off the ball screen. All he's trying to do is keep himself in a good enough position to get back in front of the big man who should be rolling hard to the rim. The point is to be able to get a good shot contest on the ball handler who's coming off the screen while still not allowing the big man to get behind you. Another way that the Celtics were able to force a lot of turnovers and really claw their way back into the series was by putting a lot of different matchups on Bam and Jimmy. If you just keep Rob Williams and Al Horford on Bam, he will wear them down and begin finding their weaknesses over the course of 4 quarters. But if you throw different guys at them, then it'll keep them on their toes and you can at least try and throw them out of the rhythm, which is all you can really ask. This was something that we saw the Celtics do against the MVP Joel Embiid in the conference semifinals, and I would expect Denver to do something similar against Miami's 2 superstars in the finals. So for Jimmy, it's all about playing in his passing lane and giving him different looks off of the ball screen. This one we have Tatum denying Jimmy the ball initially, but he's got to work harder. This is just way too simple of a V-cut for Jimmy to get open and come get the ball. And he's so good at hunting his matchup once he gets the ball in his hands that if he's not bringing it up the court, I think you got to do everything you can to keep him from getting the ball. So that includes doubling in the post, blitzing on screens, and loading up on help when he's got the ball ISO'd on one side of the court. When you don't have those extra guys in the key on the midline, it just turns into way too easy of a bucket for Jimmy to go one-on-one. So I want to hit on Miami's zone for a moment as well. It's a pretty traditional 2-3. They have a little bit more guard responsibility up top, but it's really nothing out of the ordinary. It's just that Miami knows their roles really well and they execute playing in the zone effectively. But the main reason that it worked so well against Boston was because Boston couldn't shoot the ball, and we've already been over that. So just looking ahead into the next series, I don't think that Miami's going to be able to run the zone as much against Denver in the finals. Jokic is just such a skilled passer that anytime he gets the ball in the middle of the court, which is going to be what Miami's giving up in the zone, he's usually going to make a play. He's good in the high-low. He's good at hitting guys slashing to the rim, and he's just good at getting the ball out early to the open guy. According to Caitlin Cooper, who's an NBA writer and basketball creator, the Nuggets were first in the league in points per possession against the zone this season. One of the adjustments that I think Miami might make if they want to continue running the zone in the finals is to throw a guy at the nail and keep a guy floating Jokic in the middle of the key. When the ball's anywhere above the free throw line, I would send the 5-man up to the nail and keep whoever is trying to get the ball in the middle of the court from getting the ball in that position. On this possession, Utah's in the zone versus the Lakers. What I would like to see Rudy Gobert do is come up from underneath the rim and take away this entry pass to AD in the middle of the court. If I'm Miami playing the zone against the Nuggets, then this is the look that I want being taken away, especially if it's Joker in the middle of the court right there. So when the ball's above the free throw line, it's the responsibility of the five man to come up and take away the middle. But when it goes corner or goes below the free throw line on the wing, it becomes the responsibility of one of the top guards to take away that middle guy. Right here, it's Jay Crowder when he was on the Heat in 2020 playing against the Celtics, and he's pretty much just allowing Marcus Smart to catch the ball right in the middle of the lane and either look to pass or look to shoot, which is not ideal. When the Heat aren't in the zone, I expect to see a lot of double teams on Jokic, and a big key to Miami's defense is going to be to take away the closest option when Joker's got the ball in his hands. You can see Evan Fournier right here. He starts at the top of the key, but then on the pass, he slides down to take away Aaron Gordon, and he forces a skip pass. If you send two guys at the ball, then one guy has to take away the next closest option, and then you're left with two guys on the backside to pretty much just contain shooters. It's all about having active hands and moving your feet to stay in front. You're really just trying to stall so that your other three guys can get back in front of their guys and get matched up. But Denver's been rolling, and they're going to score the ball, so that means Miami has to as well. And if Caleb Martin continues to play the way that he did in the conference finals, then they're going to have a whole lot of offensive production without mentioning the names of Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. They could look to add Tyler Hero back midway through this series. There's rumors about him coming back. But regardless of that, Bam and Jimmy are going to have to find ways to set their teammates up for success. They're going to need to carve their way into the lane. They're going to need to play make for other guys on the wing. And they're going to need to score the basketball. I would love to see Spo start to call like some more set actions for his shooters on the wing between Martin, Strus, Vincent, and Duncan Robinson. Those are all guys who can really shoot the ball well from the outside. They have been all playoffs. So just to see them really attack that action and force Denver to play off ball and defend off the ball will really open things up for Bam and Jimmy, who are great playmakers as it is. That'll get Kyle Lowry going. It'll just open everything up in the lane if you can get those guys attacking early. Another way for Miami to look for cheap offenses to run out in transition. In their entire series versus Boston, it was pretty clear to me that whoever played better defense ended up winning the game. Teams are shooting 57.8% against the Nuggets in transition this postseason, which is third worst out of 16 teams. And Miami is conversely shooting 58% in transition, which is second best in the playoffs this year. Denver is giving up 21 points per game in transition through 15 postseason games, but Miami is only scoring 15 points in transition per game. So really, I think that is going to be a key factor in the finals, and I think that that statistic may emulate the outcome of each game. So I really do think we're in for a great matchup in the finals. If I had to pick right now, I'd probably pick Miami just because I think they're a great team. I think that they're really hot right now, and I think that they're going to find a way to get it done. But you can't count out Jokic and the Nuggets because they really have been the best team in the league all season long. If you like content like this and you're a basketball junkie like I am, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. I'm always looking for more ideas about what to bring to the channel, so go ahead and leave your ideas down below as well. And yeah, thanks for watching.